Jesus to say, what comes out of a man, guard your heart, for out of it are the issues of life. Okay, so your energy can be positive. I like this. I love this. And what comes out of you touches. It touches energetically. It touches. You are flowing energy. There's positive energy. I like, I love. Oh, this feels good. Well, your emotional state towards something, towards a person, towards a place, okay, that you're experiencing in the third dimension. What comes out of you towards something determines how you're going to experience that thing. Okay? Anytime what comes out of you is, I don't like, you are still attaching negativity. It means it's right, the middle one, so positive. This is how you drive life energetically. Positive, I like, I love. It means you are flowing love, positivity, good towards something, and that is attraction. Negativity is also, if you say, I don't like, many people think that saying negativity means they are detached. No, that's why I'm saying this technical rule. Please understand, negativity attaches negative energy to things, to people, to places. Okay, so it's like taking notes, this stuff, right? And that information is carried around in people's vessel, so that when your body, this is human program, when your body sees what you like, the emotion is woo, feel good. When your system sees what you don't like, it gives you emotion, feelings, right? And negative emotion is released, hormones. You see, that side is not part of the original programming. Remember, God told Adam and Eve, do not eat this fruit. You have knowledge of, right? Knowledge of good and evil. Is that we were designed for positive outflow of God's power. Dysregulated emotions is a misprogramming that we need to clean up, particularly if you want more power from God. You actually have to heal this, because what you actually ought to be doing, the healing side, is not necessarily to bring all the funky, when I say the parts where I don't, right? It's not to bring it ultimately to positive. I mean, you need, right, as best as possible, yes. However, the first place to start is to bring it to neutrality. Neutrality is the middle where you detach. Neutrality is, it has no meaning. You've brought it to a place of peace. It has no reactivity, right? It's, you know, your body won't react to it negatively whenever you encounter that thing, that person, right? Is to bring it to peace. That's bond of peace. And this is the most powerful healing skill of right, for healing. Bringing this side that is making you release negativity and receive negativity, minimum, neutralize it. Neutrality is detachment. Then phase 2, depending on how God, right, based on the future of those relationships, which you will now go back to God on, God can now heal, because for you to move it into full positive, it takes 2 to tango. Neutrality you can do. You can forgive, you can heal, you can do that without another person. However, to now move it into another higher level, higher heaven, You need more prayer to that, because to reopen your channel to what was not feeding you positivity is not healthy. Jesus was hungry, okay? He saw a tree, it's well branded. He went there, no fruit. He did not go negative, right? There's something that he dealt with it, brought it to a place of peace. That thing didn't exist anymore, and he moved on with his life. When they were coming back, the disciples were like, whoa. The conversation became the exercise of God's power upon the earth. That is a tree, not a person, right? So there are more delicate realms. First, you bring peace into your soul, where you are not vibrating, oh, this is because you are tied, right? The energy continuing to flow out of you. You are feeding it with your words, you are feeding it with your thought. This is real advanced stuff. I just wanted to insert this because it will help somebody. It's the most powerful reality of, you also use it to reprogram yourself, because to move yourself from negativity to neutrality is, you will have to change. That thing may not change because you don't have control over other people. Other people have behavioral patterns they've adopted that they move through life with confidently. You as an observer, the power you have is to say, do you want to be eating, ingesting their stuff? Is it your duty to be carrying people's ego and be the receiver of behavior other people haven't edited, or they don't even think is, one of the incredible things is people who move around like they're the best things since life, right? And people are giving them feedback. Hey, this speed at which you are moving. In fact, their own system is giving them feedback. Anger, steaming, right? Where did you get it from? You're supposed to be working on yourself. Well, you work on yourself, and the people who decide not to work on yourself, you have to develop coping mechanism, and one of the easiest one is just to detach, neutral, and just be an observer. Because if you attach to someone vibrating negativity, you've opened your vessel to be receiving all the stuff they haven't dealt with spiritually, other people, right? And then you have to anchor yourself, and then you have to be controlling other people. You can't control. It's like carrying. You can't carry other people energetically. These are the what impacts people's health, wealth, success. Eventually, is like, it's a lot of work to be trying to carry other people's stuff that they are not dealing with. It's advanced, and that's why breaking unhealthy soul ties is one of the journey you have to go on to individuate, to be able to observe people and relate with them as an independent person of them, not codependent, because codependency is unhealthy, because it creates power dynamics. One person has to suppress their power, and one person wants to express their power, and then this power dynamics of suppression, it's in fact, in the advanced way, if I start sharing with you gene pool, let me not even go there, because I will have to open up another chapter of seeing quantum entanglement, behavioral entanglement, gene pool. Let's leave that one. But so let me focus. Okay. So I'm trying to connect the dots for you on family of origin programming. You've been programmed, but your spiritual self has the ability to edit. And many people have taken on identity, beliefs, impregnated, imposed, right? Programmed into them. But at some point, God wants to prune. And that's the work you need to let God do in you. It's not about them. It's not about other people. It's about you. And this is something God keeps repeating, that I also am emphasizing. It's not for you to focus on what other people are doing or not. They also have their own business with God. You know, there gets to be a point at the very advanced stage, God will say, just as I'm engaging and inviting, right? Let me just say this. God said, just as he's inviting this message, just as you are watching this, and God is inviting you into one-on-one with him. He said the same way is calling on everybody else. All of the people you are pointing to, everybody has a business with God right now, in this time. Everybody. So he said, leave them alone. He's also in them, talking to them, giving them feedback consciously. Right? Whether it is their spouse talking to them or their co-workers giving them, everybody, listen, at a certain age, some people have been telling you your behavior, your sound, your communication style, how they feel around you. Everybody has been getting feedback. Holy Spirit has been talking to people. Everybody knows the part of them. Other people has been communicating with them. The way you are moving upon the earth, the way you are sounding, the way what you are doing, the energy coming out of you. So there's nobody, there's no adult that will tell me one or two people in their life have not given them solid feedback on how other people experience them. Life is a mirror. Eventually, you leave people and pray for them and say, over to you, Lord. And then you will now take your own self. And then let God do. And in that place, really, is that one of the beautiful things I've seen God, healed people can now actually heal without even trying. That's the interesting thing, is that the moment you heal yourself, your entire environment will benefit. And they'll go, oh, there's another way of doing life. Right? And so part of this healing is more of, let's call it pruning of the sides of us, wherever they came from, that is not divinely orchestrated, but you want to open, you want to let God work on. You're inviting God into those places, those private places where you're sounding like, people are this. Okay, so few points as I start wrapping up. The energy you feed yourselves, right? So behavioral science, you are the one feeding yourselves with hormones. Your hormones is not just random. There are things being done for you, pre-programmed, but all through the day, the energy you are carrying, the thoughts you are processing, your beliefs, all of that informs your central nervous system, your endocrine system, on what it should do to your cells, what your cells should do for you, and how you should feed your cells. So you are feeding your biology, energy. When you eat food, it goes into storage. The time to consume energy, the ability to do work. Your mitochondria, your cells, they eat food, energetic food. I'm saying the type of food, concussion, like the hormones that runs per time to express itself in emotional state, you actually have more control than you realize. But if you leave it, then you go back to autopilot, inherited patterns. So what comes out of you is what's running inside you. People can ring your doorbell, ding dong, what do you have going on there? Typically, what you bring to others, ding dong, you're bringing cake. Oh, nice. Well, if you ring the doorbell and go, oh yeah, the natural thing is people go, out you go. If they don't welcome, right? What you bring to others, you get back. Bring what you want to get back to others. This is emotional maturity, spiritual intelligence. You can still find so many people, and this is my appeal today. You cannot bypass, you cannot override this, because it is very important. Self-control is important because self-control means your flesh is under your spirit and you're accountable. The reason it is important, you actually need the power of God, is because what else is controlling the flesh if it's not you? Because that's a puzzle, right? It's because there are other controlling forces in this world. The wind that blows people, nature, nurture, culture, family of origin is part of them, where people start stepping into markers of life, and suddenly they're like, oh, they checked this, the doctor said this. No. There's lifestyle, there are choices, and then there is history that wants to control destiny. And I'm saying your spirituality, all of your prayer ought to be in this thing I'm telling you. Because anybody that doesn't pray themselves out of realms and dimensions, they repeat patterns, and those patterns show up in behavior. Behaviors influence biology, psychology, reality, relationships, wealth, success. Okay. How you vibrate is what you send into people, places, and things. Listen, there's a lot of advanced stuff on when you start realizing that the thoughts you think is private is not private, is exposed. God looks on the heart. In fact, it flies intuitively to that person. This is your voice memo. I've spoken about and I'll continue to teach on the communication technology that is in place, that spiritually you awaken to it, you will hear everything. And I also shared that, the other people that are not Christians, the other people that do funky entanglements, the only reason they can still be doing it is because Christians are not waking up into their full power. Because if you wake up into your full power, you know their name, you know what they are doing, you see everything. There's nothing hidden in that world. So you need to awaken. And God is already trying to intuitively guide people. But people be like, oh, but this person is well dressed, this person is well titled, this person is well positioned. Like, listen, when God removes all their decoration and show you the spirit inside them, oh, and not just that, God shows you their intention. God shows you how they see you. Not just that, because those ones are still passive. When you now get to know what people want to do to other people, what they want other people to experience upon the earth that is not God's will. If God opens your eyes and shows you this thing, yeah, that will be the movie that will awaken people. So may you add to your prayer that God enlighten you. Because if you ask God, He will show you. But He doesn't show you, because if He shows you, the movie you will watch might make you go, oh Lord, you mean this? Say, yeah. Welcome to real world, not fantasy club. First, positive vibration creates positive outcomes. So when you, how you engage with people, what you put out to people, your own vibration, you put joy, you are sending joy. That's your responsibility. Now, what they send back, woohoo, that's their own. What comes out of them, that's what you observe. And if people keep repeating patterns of they are dropping funky. Now some of them rise up with full force. Well, that's the one. That's number one. People need to heal from, because God has been warning them while men slept. What has been right? When you don't guard your territory, you don't do the inner work, you don't clean up, because it's like brushing your teeth. right? This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth day and night. If you haven't been doing day and night constantly, well, you have a backlog of things you now need to deal with. Welcome to your spiritual assignment. Now, so you get to heal yourself so that you can offer the best of you to people, that men may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. That one is you and God you present. As you are presenting, don't get entangled. Observe how people, their reactivity, their response. That is your own intelligence, right? Spirit, right? Be aware. Watch, be a people watcher. Don't be wrapped up in everything. You're making assumptions that you are everywhere. Is like no. Observe everywhere. I know, like, there are many things I in church. I mean, obviously everybody, many churches, right? I've started anything. Okay, I'm not going to put too much out there, but let me say this. One of the things I love to do in church, even though we are part of the, anyway, I always sit strategically where I can see everybody. You see, some people love to be seen. Me, I love to see. In fact, I try to mind my business and I sit so that I can see everything, all the activities, who is who. And I see. And then I go, Lord, did other people see that? Did other people see that? They didn't, because most people are entangled in the moment. But God wants you to be an observer, not entangled. Whether you are going to go in corporate, or your own business, or anything, the biggest skill, the most powerful skill you need for your customers, for your clients, for your employee, is to listen with your system. Observe, listen, be aware. Know what is going on. Don't just wait for, because if you are not intuitively paying attention to your environment, to what people are saying and what is going on, and observing their character, their behavior, and watching, not judging. Don't judge. Don't, right? Observe so that you know who, so that when you want to engage with people, you've observed them enough that you have information on. It's like a chess game, right? You know that this pawn behaves a certain way, this knight behaves a certain way, this bishop behaves a certain way, the queen does this, the king does that. Don't mislabel them. Don't call a pawn a knight, because that means you've not really observed who people really are. You've not. So part of chess is the same thing, but different character, different power, different movement style. And that is expressed in life. Don't make assumption that everybody that say, oh, pastor, behaves a certain way. No. Remove that title and see the person. Look at their spouse. Look at their children. Look at their faces. Are they smiling or they are like this? Oh, tap into that information, because you don't hang around people you don't want to be like. The spirit inside them produce them. And those things move around and attach in communities and environments. Okay? So become an observer. Because when you observe, you start appreciating life and appreciating people and accepting people as they are, and then be able to make your own choice. Right? That's the power of now you being able to say, do you want to keep hanging around, accepting this or not? People have made a decision on how they want to behave. It is between them and God. It's time for you to do the same. So one of the things that happens when you heal family of origin programming, right, is that you individuate. You give yourself the permission to be an individual that is ready to express themselves through your inner self, and you are not role playing for people. And this is something you need to do right? It ought to have been done very, very young. Very, very young. People ought to have been an individual with a voice, with an identity edited by themselves, not imposed. Their relational engagement with people ought to be, you hold your power, I hold mine. But many people fall into entanglements where people are like, no, you don't exist, in the sense of your power doesn't, in fact, keep your power away. Only one person's power would now emit, and everybody will be like, yes, yes, yes. What type of entanglement, spiritual dimension is that? That's one of the most prevalent things people are engaging in certain cultures. They've been suppressed spiritually with funky forces. They don't even know. They've accepted a role that brings them into smallness. And then out of those people, one person would, who is the entangler, who has a spiritual orchestrator somewhere hiding. Huh? Okay. The way you talk, think, feel, emote, behavior is your responsibility, and so is theirs. When I say theirs, in soul healing, you must let people, you must remove yourself from trying to control. You know, this is one of the things that happens a lot with relationships, all kinds of relationships, intimate, spouse, siblings, parental, friendships, but it is everywhere, is that the moment certain people don't take responsibility for their behavior and they want to behave any way they want to behave and say anything they want to say, the people around them must come up with a defensive mechanism to accommodate such a person. And in order to accommodate such a person, they have to they can't be themselves. So they have to be something that will not trigger that person. They have to be something else that is like appeasing that person, constantly watching over that person's emotional state, because that person now is needy of other people's energy to regulate themselves. The person cannot regulate themselves, so other people, it's like baby, right? A baby cries, ah! People have to say, attend to the baby. So the people attending, you know, one of the things of those who attend to dysregulated people who don't monitor themselves is that the people's system has to be always on alert, always listening to when they need them. So when that person is dysregulated, it dysregulates everybody. That's entanglement. When anybody says, oh, who didn't do this? Everybody now, right? The key is everybody needs to learn how to regulate themselves, and then you can do life and co-regulate each other. So it's a skill everybody needs to mature into. The more intimate, the more intentional one has to. And like I shared, it takes two. First, bring peace to you. And then, as the other person learns how to regulate themselves, the relationship can now be moving more into mutual love and respect. So the first journey is peace and then joy. Righteousness, peace, and joy. How other people talk, think, behave is their responsibility. However, you must continue to grow yourself. In fact, it's one of the most beautiful things is that people who start healing and growing, God starts giving them so many skills, so many abilities that eventually they outgrow the behavior. It's like sin shall have no dominion over you. When God sets you free and you heal, you gain more higher level spiritual power and authority to handle more things, including what used to handle you. People pleasing is entanglement. It is not your job to make people like or love you. It is your job to love yourself and offer yourself